My name is Alyssa Hollingsworth. I studied at Bath Spa with their MA in Writing for Young People, which was in Bath in the UK. When I was looking at an MA, I researched a lot of schools in the US and in the UK. I was drawn to the UK because of its rich literary and academic tradition. And then Bath Spa's program in particular is all about creating a community of writers. So not just advancing you as an individual, but giving you the tutors, the friends, the peers that you need to be successful in your writing career, and that was something that really appealed to me. When I arrived in the UK, I immediately felt like I belonged. It was like having my skin on right, or returning to a place I didn't know I had left. When I first went to orientation, I met Julia Green, who's our course leader, and she came up and gave me a huge hug, knew my name, remembered my application, and I just immediately felt welcomed to the course and excited to be there. My dream in writing has always been to be a published author and to walk into Barnes & Noble and see my book on the shelf. My friends and I on the course often met at Corsham Court to write, which is where our classes were held in this downtown Abbey-esque manner. But we would also go further abroad. Public transport in the UK makes a lot of things very accessible, from the Highlands, where we could write fantasy stories, all the way down to Brighton, where we could write about up-and-coming cities. One of the really cool things that Bath Spa does is it takes the graduating class's work and puts it into an anthology. They then send it out to the big UK publishers and editors and agents and invite them to come to a launch party. So we go to this launch party and do sort of speed dating for agents and publishers and authors. And that's actually where I first met my agent, Amber of Skylark Literary Agency. When I signed with Amber, one of the things she asked was to see other projects I had been working on. And because of the course at Bath Spa, I had written a synopsis for a contemporary middle grade book, and I gave that to her, thinking I'd never write it. But she immediately came back to me and said, "This is amazing, how do you feel about writing this project?" And so I started working on what would become the 11th Trade, which will be my debut, which now comes out in autumn 2018. This book would definitely not exist without Bath Spa, and specifically the input of Janine Amos, who pushed me to write the synopsis. Knowing that I am going to go into a Barnes & Noble and see my book up on the shelf in about a year is just amazing. It's indescribable, really nerve-wracking, but really exciting at the same time.